The fourth exercise is about using array and JSON objects in Node.js, which is quite natural to Node.js, and we're going to use a lot of that during our labs. But you need to understand some tricks about them. So, as you know, arrays and JSON objects in Node.js, they're actually references. They're not the actual values, not like a string. So if you copy one array to another array, you actually copying the reference to the array, not the array elements itself. And therefore, it's essential that we introduce another package called clone, which we can use to safely copy arrays and copy JSON object. Reinitialize the package. And we install clone. And again, we can actually find the clone here, how it can be used. So if we say npm JS, and then for example say clone, you see the package and how it works. I can also see some samples about how using it. So let's go through the arrays first. So first we make an object to load all the functions in this clone package, and then let's assume we have three arrays, array A, B, and C, and then we have array A is 1 to 5. Then we're going to print it on the screen, and then of course you're going to show this, and then we're going to say array B equal to array A, and we say B after A is after A is set to B, and then we can actually see that B is also would print 1 to 5, and then we're going to use the command push to push another element to an array, and after that we're going to print A, not B, and you will see that 6 was also added to A as well, because B and A are basically referring to the same object. This also goes when you have functions. So if we have a function change array elements, and then we would push something to the array. So we define a new variable, although it's local, and then we say array output array is equal to the input one, and then we push something to the output, and we don't even return anything. And here we're going to check it. So if we array A 1 to 5, and then we change the array, and then we print the A, and you see the 7 is actually added to it as well, meaning you can actually send variables by reference to functions, and then they can actually change it inside, although it's not very common and I highly advise against using it. Nevertheless, it's just to show how the arrays work in the Node.js. And then here's another example. So we have array A, B, and C. So A, B, and C. And then we can actually concatenate two arrays, and we can even make arrays that necessarily doesn't make sense. So for example, it can be 1, 2, 3, cat, dog, and cow. And here's how we actually use the clone. So if we use the clone, so for example, say array A is 1, 2, 3, B is the clone of A, and we push 4 to B, and then if you print A and B, you see that A is has not been changed, whereas B, the value for B is changed. Whereas on the first one, as you can see, that we did not clone, we just assigned. Then when we changed the B, A was also changed. So let's execute this code, and this is what we would see. And this is also printed here as comments. The second example is about the JSON variables, and the JSON variables also very common in Node.js, and we're going to use a lot of that because using JSON we can actually send complex variables to each other, to functions, and also over the net and over the links. And so here we're also going to use the clone to see how it works. So let's have JSON A, B, and C, and you have the array of JSONs and array of names. So array of JSON A is actually key pair values. So name is John, family Smith, occupation carpenter. Then JSON B, object B is Alex, William is electrician. And then we have the array of JSONs, and then we push A and B into it. And please pay attention that this is how we define a new array. And now we're going to print A, and we're going to print B. Then we're going to print the array of JSONs, which is both of them. And then here's another command that we regularly use, and is like, imagine we want to do something for all items or all items of an array. So we said array of JSON. For each of them, assume is called XX. We say an item is this. So here we don't change anything. Or actually here we can go a little bit deeper into it. For example, we say for each element of this array of JSON files. So a name is like this. And another command that we use is the command map, which is mapping content of an array into another array. So here is the example that you can actually see how it works, and this is the syntax. So for example, we say array of names is array of JSONs which map each item to the item name, and then for each array we're going to write the name. So this is how a name is. You write it like this. Or the second one, we actually separate the names and we make a smaller kind of array. And now here via the map, now we have all the names. And here example. Now we say JSON C equal to JSON A, and then JSON C is the family is Holland. So whereas A was the family name was, say for example, Smith. And now again, just like before, if we print the A now, so the family would be the family name for the A would change, although we made a change to a copy of it, which is C. And now here's how the clone works, which is the right way of doing it. So we clone the A, and then we change the family name, and then now we print A and we print B, and as you can see, A has not been changed after making changes to C, despite the first case. So let's just run this. And here are all the inputs, also all the outputs, and you can actually see them inside the code as well. So please pay attention and go through them carefully so that you would understand how it goes. So here I'm also going to use the opportunity to say something about Visual Code, and that's something called the code formatter. So if we use the command palette, and then we say, for example, we say format document, which is Ctrl-Shift-I. Later on, if you want to use it, it would actually make the code nice. So for example, if we have it adds proper spacing, you add proper indentation, and many things it does. So for example, if we do this, and then if we do this, I don't know, on many things you can ask. So then we say the palette, then we go format document, we'll actually clean the document with the right indentation and right spacing for the variable.